What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for Season 1 of Loki. Bruh, I gotta say this right now. This show was fucking awesome, man. I absolutely loved this season of Loki. It was an amazing season. 6 fantastic episodes all around, man. And without a doubt, this is probably one of the best endings in the MCU history. I absolutely loved that ending to the final episode of Loki. Fantastic shit, man. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. So, of course, like usual, the show stars Tom Hiddleston, Sophia DiMartino, Owen Wilson, Richard E. Grant, Gugu. Is that legit how you pronounce her name? Gugu? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Mabatha, Raw, and many more. And the plot of Loki, of course, taking place after the events of Avengers Endgame, where Loki grabs the Tesseract to get out of there. He's, of course, caught by the TVA, and craziness ensues. This show, so like I said before, this show is awesome. And as I mentioned in my first impressions, Tom Hiddleston is absolutely amazing in the show. Once again, he gives a fantastic performance as Loki. But this is without a doubt his best performance as Loki. Because one thing I loved about this show is I love how this show... Because, keep in mind, this Loki that we see in this show is the Avengers 1 Loki. This isn't the Loki we see that gets killed off by Thanos in Infinity War, at the start of Infinity War Loki. By this point, Loki is still pretty much solely a villain. This is before he watches this is before his mom dies in Dark World. This is before all the shit that happens in Ragnarok happens. This is before he dies in Infinity War. And I love how the show basically, in a way, gets Loki to like that same point in his like character arc, but at the same time deconstructing Loki to finally show us why Loki is the way he is, why he is the god of mischief, why he is always betraying people, and other stuff like that. And it was really fascinating to watch it throughout the 6 episodes as we see Loki grow and we figure out what makes him tick. And Tom Hiddleston gives an amazing performance. I wouldn't go as far as to say his performance is like on par with, say, like Elizabeth Olsen was in WandaVision, or definitely not Charlie Cox in Daredevil Season 3, but he gives a damn good performance, and I would definitely say at the very least he's worthy of an Emmy nomination. So, yeah, he's great. Owen Wilson, who, like I mentioned in my original review, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen him in anything since 2007. As Mobius, he is fantastic, man. He's basically the comic relief character for a majority of the show, but he does get his moments later on the show, and it was great to see him. And I love the relationship between him and Loki. Mabatha Raw, because I don't want to, because I feel like I'm mispronouncing the woman's first name. I feel like I'm mispronouncing it, as Ravana. She was fantastic as well, man. And also, the rest of the cast were great in their own way. Of course, I got to give a shout out to Wumi Mosaka, who was also in the show playing one of the TVA soldiers or whatever, who you guys may remember from Lovecraft Country as Ruby, which... Funny story about that one. You see, because I watched. Now you guys know me. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I've mentioned Lovecraft Country a handful of times when it was airing last year. That I absolutely adored Lovecraft Country. It was one of my favorite shows from that year. I absolutely loved every episode. It was such an amazing show, and I loved it. I was so sad that we didn't get a season 2. That we were gonna get one, but it got canceled. Which sucks, because Lovecraft Country was so fucking good, man. But hey. That first season was fucking awesome. If you guys have not seen Lovecraft Country, please go out your way and watch it. It's on HBO. You can catch it on HBO Max. I'm sure it's already out on Blu-ray by this point. Just watch it. It's such an amazing show. But anyway, she was in the show and, like I said, plays one of the TVA soldiers. Not once did I, like, in the entire time she was on screen, did I think, oh wait, is that Ruby from Lovecraft Country? It wasn't until I watched the final episode, which I won't get into I won't get into spoilers in the final episode until we get to the end of the day where I do my usual sports. Then my man Platinum Equinox mentioned how there was a couple people from Lovecraft Country in this show, and I was like, wait, who was the second one? And then he pointed out her, and I'm like, oh shit! I completely forgot. I didn't even, like, it never, but that thought never once crossed my brain. I don't know if it's because of all the armor she was wearing or what, but not once did I ever think, oh wait, that's Ruby from Lovecraft Country. Then, like, I don't know if any of y'all who watch Lovecraft Country, what did they say when you did, where that never crossed your mind, but it did me. But anyway, man, she is fantastic from the handful of times we see her. She was absolutely amazing. Now, another thing I gotta say that this, even though now, like I mentioned, this is my first impressions, where I mentioned how I really dug the environments and what we saw of the TVA and just the overall environments and looks of the series. I have to say, this is probably one of the best looking MCU, best looking series / movies, one of the best, whatever you want to call it, of the MCU. Now, like cinematography-wise, it's overall pretty good, but I mostly talk about the environments. The environments we see from the various planets we visit, the timelines, and of course, the overall like TVA, like headquarters and stuff. I love the environments of the show. Now, like I said before, I'm hesitant to call this set design because, like I said, I'm pretty sure 90% of the series was behind a fucking green screen. But regardless of such, this show looks absolutely amazing. From the various planets we see, the buildings, the TVA headquarters, this show looks spectacular. The cinematography is also pretty good. It's also really good throughout the show as well. But the environments, I was really impressed by. They look so good, man. So shout out to all the VFX guys that were slaving away working on the backgrounds and shit, man. They did a fantastic job. This show looked absolutely amazing. The soundtrack and its overall score I thought was pretty good throughout the show, especially in the last episode. That in the end, and the songs they used in the end credits, because I'm pretty sure they use like a different song for each episode end credit, or I think there might have been a couple so they use the same one, but for most of the episodes they use a different song at the end credits. And I overall thought the songs they picked out there were very good as well. And the score that we saw in the last episode, fantastic. Okay, so of course, then we of course have Sophia de Montio as Sylvie, the female Loki, which I kind of debated whether or not I talk to her about her the spoiler-free sketch or not, but because of how basically she's in most of the shows, like fuck it. And most of you have probably seen her around anyway on Twitter and other shit, might as well. I really dug Sophia in the show, and I really dug the relationship she has with Loki as they kind of like grow together, try to figure out these two, like you have Loki and then you got like this varied Loki and their interactions and like what her story is compared to Loki, how their stories like differ from each other. Great shit, man. I overall love the relationship as it continued on and developed throughout the entire series. However, my only real problem I had with Loki season 1, because we know that as we saw in the post-credit scene, or if you want to say post-credit scene, and during the end credits, we did get confirmation that we are getting season 2, which thank God we are, because after that ending, I was like, yo, that better be a season 2, or this better be continued on in the fucking multiverse of madness or something, because you cannot just end it up here and leave us hanging. There better be something, because thankfully we are in Loki season 2. So that's hype. So that's hype to see. But my only real problem is one thing. Even though I really did enjoy Sylvie, when we saw her, we never really see much of her backstory. When we do, I feel like they could have shown up more, because always it's like, I'm not gonna get in spoilers, but they don't really show much on why she's a variant, or rather not why she's a variant, but like why she's on the run from the TVA, why the TVA is after her, and just like how she managed to avoid them for so long. We never really get to see much of any of that, and I would have liked to see at least some of that to like get a better understanding of who she is and how she managed to survive this long. Because we get like next to nothing. We basically see her how she got kidnapped, how she got caught by the TVA the first time, and then how she managed to escape those. That's all it. We don't see her actually trying to figure out her ways to stay off their tails, how she managed to stay off the grid for so long, how she managed to avoid them. We don't really get much of that, and I would have liked to at least seen a little bit more of Sylvie's backstory to really see how she managed, how she is revolved with the TVA and why the TVA wants her. Which to be fair, could end up being elaborated on in season 2. But for season 1, I would have liked to at least gotten a little bit more. But besides that, man, I really got no other complaints about the show. This show's fantastic. If you were to ask me between this, WandaVision, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which one I would say is the best out of the 3 so far, I would still probably give Falcon and the Winter Soldier the slight edge a little bit. But don't get me wrong, Loki was fucking awesome. Like I said, the ending in the final episode was god-tier. That is one of the best endings I've seen in the MCU. I love the ending for the show. But I think I would give Falcon and the Winter Soldier just a slight edge. Just a slight edge from some of the stuff it did in its show with Sam and Bucky and with Baron Zemo and all that shit. I would probably give it the slight edge, although Loki comes in a damn close second. If someone was to come up to me and say I thought Loki was better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wouldn't really argue with them because both these shows are fantastic in their own right. So, give you guys my final verdict, and then we're going to go right into spoiler discussion. So if you guys that don't want to get spoilers, now is your time to leave. Anyway, guys, overall, I'm going to give Loki season 1, of course, a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. So, Like I said before, if you guys want to stay away and don't get spoiled, click off the video right now. For everyone else, let's just jump right into spoilers. So, let's talk a little bit more about Loki and his overall development throughout the series. I already mentioned before how in the start of the show we see him, or I think I might have mentioned this in my first impressions, where we see Loki kind of like watch this like tape of his life basically, which shows him everything he's done from up to where the start of like Thor 1 all the way up to what we see at Thor at the end of Infinity, at the start of Infinity War when he dies. He sees his mom's death in Dark World. He sees what happened to him in Avengers Infinity War. And Tom Hiddleston's performance right there was fantastic. And then you of course got his conversation with Mobius, where Mobius is like constantly like poking and prodding and I'm trying to get the answers out of him on why he does what he does. And when he finally tells him, it's like such a great scene, man. And then you've got this other one where he's like basically stuck in this infinite loop where he I think what happened was that he cut the hair of that like warrior chick that was with Thor in the first two Thor films, and she gets mad at him and it's like constantly kicking him in the balls, and like it keeps happening over and over again. Loki until he's like on his hands and knees begging her to stop, and he kind of like explains like, oh, I do this because I don't want to, like I think he said something about like he does it for like attention or something, or to be noticed or something. I don't remember completely what he said, so forgive me on that, but that scene was also fantastic, and I just loved how the show deconstructed Loki to finally show us why Loki is the way he is and why he is the god of mystery. Because we really have never really seen much of that, at least in the MCU. I'm sure maybe the comics probably at one point or another did kind of deconstruct him and show why Loki is the way he is. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but in the MCU we haven't really gotten much of any of that. So it was nice to see that in this series. So let's talk about the final episode because there was a lot of cool shit. First off, let me get a drink some water real quick. So we gotta talk about the big reveal that we saw in this season. Jonathan Majors is in the show, and he plays the guy like he who is there, whatever the fuck that dude's name was. I lost my shit when he popped up for two reasons. One, because he was from Lovecraft Country, and you guys know how much I fucking love Lovecraft Country. And like I said, he was the first guy, and when I told him, he was like, yeah, two people from Lovecraft Country made the show. And I was like, yeah, who's the second one? That's when he brings up Ruby. And so that was awesome. But first off, the man steals the show every time the man is on screen. From that entire, for the entire episode, when that man is on screen talking about his origins, or when he's just just avoiding Loki and Sylvie's attacks, this man steals the show, and I just loved him. And I was sad to see him die at the end. I don't know if we were gonna see him now. Granted, they did mention there's gonna be alternate evil variants of him that's gonna be coming after them. So maybe we will see more of him in future MCU films. Maybe in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Maybe in Spider-Man fucking No Way Home. Because we all know, because all the rumors are going on that's going to do the Spider-Verse. There's a good chance we might see more of him sooner than later, probably. We don't know, or like I said, we could see more of him in season 2. But either way, that was fantastic, man. I absolutely. And the second time was because I actually kind of already knew about him coming to the MCU, because I remember this was I don't even remember when this was. This had to have been either early this year or late last year. It was after Lovecraft Country finished airing. I remember know that much. Where I saw a tweet from MCU Direct saying that he was going to play somebody, rumors of him playing somebody in the MCU. I don't know if it was this same guy or if it was someone else. I don't remember the tweet. But so when I actually saw him in here, I was like, yo, that tweet was right. He's actually in the MCU. Let's fucking go, man. And like I said before, this man just steals the show every time he's on screen. He is such an amazing actor, man. He's so good in this show, man. Looking forward to seeing more of him in the MCU. Hopefully. He was so good in the show, man. In the episode we saw him in. What else can I talk about from this movie? What else can I talk about? The ending. Let's talk about the ending real quick. That's probably this video on. I love the ending to this show because it was basically ripped right out of Planet of the Apes. Because if you guys remember, and I guess spoiler alert for Planet of the Apes, if you have not seen the original 60s film, which if you haven't, do it. It's fucking fantastic. So anyway, as you guys may know, in the original Planet of the Apes film, it was revealed that the whole movie takes place on Earth in the distant future after the apocalypse happened and apes rose up and humanity has been turned into apes, basically. The roles that were first. Y'all know the ending. Y'all know Planet of the Apes is ending. I love, and you could also say this takes more from the 2000 reboot than the original 60s film. But either way, I loved it because it was still that same epic twist where Loki is like trying to like tell Mobius like, oh, the world is gonna end. There's gonna be like hundreds of variants of this guy, evil, coming after us, and they're asking him like, yo, who are you? Like, who are you? Like, where are you from? And then as Loki looks around, we see a statue at the TVA's headquarters. That's basically his body. His body like sculpted on like one of the walls or something. And I was like, yo, bro, this is Rick right out, Planet of the Apes. This is so fucking cool. And then the end credits roll, like, oh, you motherfuckers, you went in there if you give me that cool Planet of the Apes shit. But yeah, man, this show was absolutely fantastic, man. And so much good shit, man. Like I said, this comes out at a close second for me for the Disney Plus Marvel series, but man, was this show fantastic. I'm definitely very much looking forward to season 2 whenever that comes out. So yeah, man, like I said, that's all I gotta say about Loki, guys. So tell me down below in the comments what you guys saw of Loki season 1. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Who was your favorite character? Which one of the Lokis was your favorite? The alligator Loki was hilarious. The old like classic Loki, I think is what they called him, considering he like wears like Loki's like classic costume for like the original 60s comics. Silver Age comics for like the first Avengers issue and such. He was cool. The Loki that's like more of like looks like a presidential candidate that is also played by Tom Hiddleston was also fantastic. That whole episode with all the Lokis was probably my favorite episode, honestly. I love that episode where we saw the Lokis, especially when they all start betraying each other. That shit fucking killed me when I watched it, man. That whole episode was killing me as everyone's betraying like all the Lokis. So funny, man. So much fun, man. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say for you guys. And so anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, keep out for more. See you guys next time.